What's poppin', yo? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another film review. Today we're taking a look at Rogue One, and you can sort of hang me on the cross for saying this. You can, verbally abuse me in the comments, but Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie. It is my favorite Star Wars movie. I fucking love Rogue One. It is fucking brilliant, and I will argue and advocate for Rogue One because today I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at every single Star Wars movie over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at every single Star Wars movie and just yap about it, because that's what we're doing. We did it for the Marvel, we did it for MCU. I've taken a look at everything that Marvel has put out up until this point, and I have taken a look at Star Wars now. I'm taking a crack at Star Wars. I'll do DC after, but I'm a little bit bored of superheroes and I want to do something different. So I'm taking a look at sci-fi. So without any further delay, let's get into the fucking best Star Wars movie going. So, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. It came out in 2016, it's an action sci-fi. It is 2 hours and 13 minutes and has a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb and 84% on Rotten Tomatoes and an 8 out of 10 on Screen Rant. You can watch this on ITVX, Disney+, Amazon Prime, and also YouTube. Jin's father is forcibly taken by the Galactic Empire to help them complete the Death Star. When she grows up, she joins a group of resistance fighters whose aim is to steal the Empire's blueprints. Basically, that is the story. I think they summoned that shit up quite well, not gonna lie. But yeah, the reason that I'm taking a look at this one first and not like the original three with like Jar Jar Binks is because I wanted to take a look at the best one first. I wanted to set the stage with a Star Wars story, because I'm doing Solo next. So I wanted to start it with the Solo and Rogue One Star Wars stories, and then I'll get on to the, trilogies. Okay? So I just wanted to do the one-offs first, which isn't part of any trilogy, and it's just, a standalone thing. So, Rogue One. Here we go. Story. We have a really nice, beautiful island set up where the dad is taken and the kid is sort of hidden in a well. She grows up and, like Google said, she joins up with this emotionless, sarcastic robot and this dude who try and double-cross her at one point, but then decide, you know what, she's quite chill, let's keep her around. And they team up with a blind guy and another dude, and we have some iconic memes with I am one with the Force and the Force is with me, I am one with the Force and the Force is with me. And I thought that was cool. We had him fighting a load of stormtroopers, and they went to an Empire base, found out where the blueprints were, so they went to where the blueprints were, they fought in, they got the rebels to sort of help ambush, they got that shit, and they took it up to Princess Leia, and Darth Vader was there, and he came in, and it led straight into A New Hope. Right? It led straight into A New Hope. I know I covered the story very briefly. I don't go into a lot of depth when I recap the story because, again, I don't want to spoil it, I don't want to waste too much time on it, and I just want to get into the review. So, characters are fucking beautiful. The robot is my favorite fucking robot. I think it is better than R2-D2. I think it is better than C-3PO. I think it is better than BB-8, okay? Gonna be honest, that robot is my favorite fucking robot. I love his sarcastic shit. He makes me laugh. He's funny. I like his hatred to the character, but how he can have, a little bit of a human emotion and sort of gradually get to like being around our main girl. I like that. I think that's cool. It's interesting. It gives him a little bit of character development and makes it even more impactful when he sacrifices himself to save her and to get the blueprints. Everybody dies in this movie, spoiler alert, but, because they don't show up in any trilogy after this, they don't show up in the original trilogy or the one after, they decide to kill them all off, which is fair enough, but I actually liked these characters. I thought they were really cool, they were really nicely written, and I thought they had good motives. The story was how Leia got those plans, and I think it worked well. And they definitely killed off all the good stormtroopers, all the stormtroopers with the good aim. All of them died on this planet. All of them fucking died, because the only stormtroopers that have ever killed anybody of significance in Star Wars was right fucking here in this movie. The stormtroopers actually did shit, and that felt so good to see, because stormtroopers have been made fun of for having the world's shittest aim forever. So getting this movie and seeing stormtroopers actually have good aim and actually be useful, I liked that, because that was cool. That gave something that we haven't really seen before, and tried to get rid of the stigma around stormtroopers being useless and stormtroopers being shit. So I thought that was really cool, and definitely, something which was deserving to look at, and something that was different, and something that we haven't really seen from Star Wars, and something that we didn't really expect. I didn't go into this movie expecting everyone to die. I know they don't show up in any of the trilogies, but they could have gone off and done their own thing. They don't need to be in the main trilogies and still be alive. But they decided to kill them off, and it made it impactful. It made it meaningful, because they died for a reason. They died for a cause. They died to get Leia that blueprint of the Death Star. They died so the original trilogy could be a thing. And some of you will say, we didn't need to see this, it wasn't good, it wasn't exciting, it wasn't interesting, it ruins the fundamentals of Star Wars. I don't give a shit. I liked the film, I thought it was cool. Like, blaster go pew pew, lightsaber go vroom. Like, get over yourself, it's Star Wars, it's not that deep. I really like this one. I'm going to be honest, I don't give a shit what any of you say. I am 100% biased, and I'm giving this one a solid, 9 out of 10. This is a fucking brilliant movie, and I just liked how creative it was, because they wasn't, limited to the characters in anything, and they could kill them off at the end. They wasn't limited to anything. They could do whatever they wanted. They could make these cool-ass robots. They could do this, that, and the other, which made this movie stand out compared to some of the others, and, they could blow shit up, because whatever they made they could destroy, because it doesn't exist in after this movie. So they could go through so much and do so much creative they had so much creative freedom, and I liked that, because it just gave the movie a little bit more personality. Seeing stormtroopers actually be good as well was sick. I can't get over that, and I'm still going to mention that. Stormtroopers being good at their job is sick as fuck. I will be honest. Some of the characters were quite boring, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really like the big guy with the breathing tank. I thought he was a little bit of a dick. And I don't know, he couldn't really decide what he wanted. He was very sort of flip-floppy, and I didn't feel like they had a good solution for that, with if he wanted to help them or not. And they didn't write that the best. I will admit that bit was a little bit awkward, because there was no sort of solid reasoning for why he did or didn't want to help, or what he ended up choosing in the end. So yeah, I do get some points. Some parts of this movie wasn't written the best, but overall it's just here for a good time. It's here to be fun, it's here to be exciting, and to give a little bit more backstory on the Star Wars franchise. And I see a lot of people not really talking about this one, and forgetting about it, and not really liking it. I saw it when this movie first came out, that everyone absolutely fucking hated it, and I don't get why, because I actually really liked this one. And it just added a lot to the franchise. It added new characters that actually did something to the story. They wasn't just there for the sake of having a new character. They provided something. It gave us a new team, and it gave a little bit of view to the smaller people, to the people that we don't really get to focus on all too much in the actual Star Wars franchise, like the first 3 movies. We don't get a lot of viewpoint from what they do or how they are sort of treated. They're just sort of agents. They're just sort of, random guys who look after the planes, build the planes, fly the planes. I'm calling them planes, I know they're X-Wings. I'm here just to piss you off at this point. And, we actually get a look at the little guy and the common people. These guys don't have, the over-the-top plans. These guys don't really, have any sort of grand idea. These are doing it on their own for the most part of the movie, which makes it feel like a smaller group, which is quite often overlooked and not really wanted. It's a ragtag group of people. They didn't come together for a grand purpose. They wasn't sort of, selected by Princess Leia to go on this mission together. It just kind of fell into place, and it worked. And I liked it. It was cool. It didn't do anything that sort of ruined the reputation of Star Wars. It didn't add any crazy new sort of force power, which could have been useful at a previous sort of place, like force healing. Everyone hates that. I think it's pretty cool, but everyone hates force healing. But, I thought it was interesting. You can't please everybody, but you can please me pretty simply. Have really interesting characters, which
you know, they're just fucking cool. I can't say anything else about this movie other than it's cool. I enjoyed it. The battles were interesting. They were meaningful, and they didn't just fight for the sake of fighting. And the whole sort of new planets and the blowing up the planets and the ending was really impactful because they did all this for what we know succeeded and was to help Luke and Leia, but they didn't know if what they did actually helped in any way. And them dying kind of sucked because I liked them and I would have liked to see more from them. I kind of hope that they get a show where they could have done something. I don't know. There is no way to bring these guys back. These are some characters that will stay dead in the Star Wars universe because, again, this movie was hated, so it probably wouldn't make it enough money. And because, you know, they're dead. Like, their story was told. It's a one and done. They didn't drag it out for three episodes. They didn't sort of drag it out for 3 seasons. They just told the story they wanted to tell, left it at that. So it's an easy 9 out of 10 for me.